Tempest has taken a 2-0 lead over KSV Black. Will that lead continue into a 3-0 victory? A huge upset here. Time will tell. I spoke to Hyde very briefly during the break. He's in good spirits, and morale is obviously quite high at the moment.
Wow. Coming in for the night, I literally did not expect this to happen. I said a 3-0. Of course, I did not say the team. Maybe a 3-0 wipe coming out from Tempest. That can actually happen now.
Yeah. I mean, like obviously Black was going to be the favorites coming into this, right? Everyone's saying probably 3-0 for Black. It's going to be an exciting series, though. Like, Tempest will make some close games. You know, everyone was excited to see how Tempest would do after their failure at BlizzCon. New roster, for example. But Judgment, Hinterland Blast combo, late game team fighting from Lockdown, and Dami on the Genji.
They didn't even really need the arrow there.
Yeah, the approach from Black in the draft was really interesting because the approach they took in the second game there was to remove the heroes that gave them frustration in the first game, in the late game. Then they drafted Lucio, and it looked like an impervious comp. It looked like a composition you look at and you go, okay, they have Lucio, they have these top-tier heroes, they have Li Ming. And then at some point, whether either in the draft it was planned all along or in-game, Tempest realized they have no cleanse. And even though this is a great map for Tyrael to be used for boss control, for example, Sanctification, let's pick MVP Black. Because MVP Black's one of the best team fighting teams in the world. You give them the longer fight, they will take it, especially with the Uther versus like Lucio. But if you can get the picks, then you just win by sheer numbers.
Here, I think, especially with Noblesse coaching right next to them right now, and I think the key here is Sonya. Just giving Sonya every single time to Tempest, I think that's working in huge favor for Tempest, and also good if you ban Sonya or even take it away from his hands. I think that's going to make us starting to make the change, going a little bit towards KSV. I think that should be the start. Let's see how Noblesse goes with the ban picks. I think we're going to have the maps ready soon for you guys.
Yeah.
Sonya, right. I think that's the big one, of course.
We had a very short commercial break, so you know, with the huge crowd we have here and stuff today, maybe
we have to, like,
some players run to the bathroom and stuff like that. Had to wait in line. I'd never wait in line. I always tell fans, like, excuse me, I gotta go back to the casting booth. Either. So it's gonna be Tomb of the Spider Queen, our third map here, chosen by KSV Black actually. So first pick will go to Tempest. An odd case. Usually the losing team will choose first pick. Not in this case, so Black got a
very odd case.
Yeah, this almost never happens in Korea. I know in other regions it happens sometimes. It's still pretty rare outside of Korea, but like it happened in Korea like less than 3 times in the whole year last year.
That's only if you take out Raven.
Yeah, well, Raven did some weird stuff, but they don't count. They're not in this tournament anymore, G Club. We'll see if they can make it back in after we go to our promotions tournament later on. In the crucible of Korea.
Let's see. This means that they want the double pick right after. After watching the first pick of Tempest. I think with the first pick, they might as well just grab Sonya. Sonya, if not banned, they will have some special type of team comp. I'm talking about KSV Black going into the draft. Let's see it.
Okay, so Tassadar ban to start. Obviously, focused on wave clear. Very strong hero in terms of roaming as well, control on this map. KSV Black look to ban the Hanzo this time. Not really the big factor, as you said. Greymane already taken, liking Tempest's position, but we'll have to wait and see what Black has prepared.
Let's wait a little bit. Yes, do take the Sonya. That has to be the adjustment. That's not the only hero that could play, but still taking that away from his hand seemed like the best idea to come back into the series. They're down 0-2.
Didn't like the fact that Genji was played by Rich in that last game, and Arthas was left for reset. And in this case, I feel like we'll probably see Rich on the Sonya because it's a more traditional solo laner, and reset back on Genji, who's to be totally honest, I feel like Reset has always been the best Genji since its release. He's had incredible plays in all sorts of crazy scenarios. The countless times they faced off against L5 last year when Genji was available, the times we saw at BlizzCon Finals, Gold Club World Championship, I know Rich is a top tier player, and in this case, perhaps that's how they felt like running the comp, but I wouldn't agree with it, you know, I didn't agree with it. They didn't win, but for different circumstances.
Yeah, with that, I think they had the mechanical, of course. Their individual play is great, but it seemed like they were just not together in a way because of that role swap. I think that's what really made their team fight to be lost all the time. Of course, they were also surprised by what Tempest had then.
So this time they are given a Nubarak. Nubarak will be taken. Now, what's really interesting about the solo matchup, which is pretty cool to think about when we talk about how much it dominated, so we're going to see a target of Lamalthale here in the Sonya matchup. What's really cool for Tempest is they're not so pigeonholed into the solo laners because they prioritize Falstad so highly. So obviously Malthael was the best pick in this case against Sonya, especially on this map, because you rotate very quickly between lanes. Uther can give him Divine Shield so he can Tormented Souls. We might see a Tyrael ban here, or we might have, sorry, seen a Tyrael ban here if it was left open so they could grab that Malthael and have no Tyrael against it. But because Tempest can play Falstad in the solo lane, it's such an interesting dynamic that hasn't been seen really since 2016. Malfurion's first appearance.
Here comes the Malfi.
The Lucio ban here.
Seems like they need cleanse, and lots of cleanse, in fact. Well, so that's why they're trying to bring Malfurion. Also, maybe another Falstad coming in because they also have a Nubarak. Maybe just a similar theme from what they played in game number 1.
I think a basic solo laner Falstad, fantastic. Like, you just go ahead and grab Dahaka here. He's safe, gives you extra engage potential, can really ruin what whoever's playing Genji is trying to do. And then you have Falstad for pushing power. You can also take Tychus or Vala, something that's really strong for wave clear for the 4-man. A lot of options here for Tempest. Falstad has been the go-to. You know, 2 of 2 games they have picked it up in the final rotation. We'll see if they make that a third for third.
Let's see how much damage they want to put up. Very likely Black is going to have a double support.
Jaina.
So they want to go in because it seems like Black is going to just sustain more with Malfurion with the AoE cleanse at 7 now. Tempest is going in all in with the burst damage.
Yeah,
they want to finish the team fight without the sustain.
It's going to be very similar to what they did last game in terms of the burst to get a target blown up, but a different approach. Now, Jaina obviously can have a lot of her damage mitigated briefly by Genji's deflect, but after that it's gone. Same with Malfurion's healing, very, very short. And it's tough now to decide what's the best option here for KSV Black, because mitigating the burst damage from... This is probably not going to be Lava Wave, by the way. It's probably going to be Smash.
Stukov, maybe, if they're thinking of a double support?
I think it's too slow. The healing is too slow from Stukov. I almost feel like maybe...
Because there's no burst healing at all coming out from Malfurion.
Obviously you want to say Lucio, they're like, oh, he's banned. They're like, maybe Tastar, and it's like, no, he's banned also.
There's no saving tool. Oh, they're actually taking Falstad in their own way.
I don't know about this.
I think they're just trying to use the gust to save themselves at the same time.
Can really help you disengage against the burst damage that's going to come through here. But go for the throat. After we see Jaina, go ahead and pop the Ring of Frost. Ragnaros' stun. Blizzard's hitting this target, right? Anubarak's got the stun. Uther's got his stun. This comp, it's very easy to look at Tempest comp in theory and say, well, they made it work with a similar burst comp on Sky Temple. But going into game 3, distance between lanes is short. Rotational play will be important. Ragnaros in the solo matchup against Sonya will struggle. We will see if they can make those burst kills happen. If they can, I think they're going to maybe pull away with this series, but if they cannot, similar to last game, then NV Black has a fantastic composition that's based on sustain and late game.
Let's see, I think they're trying to look into, of course, Ake is one of the best Falstad, and maybe a Gust into Twilight combo, but if Anubarak gets pulled in, if Cocoon happens faster than the Twilight, then basically the combo is ruined, and it creates this entire room for Tempest to actually focus onto a Malfurion or some other target. They have to be perfect. Look at that, perfect. Talking about perfect.
Yeah, I mean, we did talk about how KSV has, like, seriously, these are some of their best win rate maps, but they have just a good win rate on every map. But, like, this is a perfect one, but it's not their most picked map, so this is a little bit different from the other maps that were their most picked, Sky Temple and Cursed Hollow in 2017. Okay, so there's going to be Jaina building pretty standard here. I'm going to go into the queue. not really as useful in this comp. So building what you would expect given this composition. Now, I did want to also mention, I lost my train of thought for a second, that it's a more standard setup for KSV Black. Rich on the Sonya, Tist playing the Arthas, and Reset on the Genji. So a little bit more faith with the comp with this player setup.
Yeah, it works out perfectly. When Sake played a lot of Falstad in this map especially, and also Tassadar, so he'll be fine in that. But the case is Lockdown. Of course, he did play some Kel'Thas, some mages oftentimes, but is he ready to make that play? Jaina, I don't think I have seen too much of Lockdown's Jaina so far.
It's been a long time since we've seen it. Was seen when Lockdown was playing
Years ago?
Yeah, like when Lockdown was playing Tempest in the beginning of summer season of OGN Super League, we saw like 1 or 2 games of him. Previously, of course, he was on MVP Black. He's the former teammate of most of these KSV Black players. In fact, most people forget. But when he became a DPS player, we saw it once or twice on Tempest when he was not playing Falstad, before the Sonya Falstad Rhaegar Trinity was a thing for Tempest. So it's been a while. It was Sake who actually made the hero popular in Korea in 2015 and early 2016 spring season. Back when Jaina had Bolt of the Storm and Ice Block on 13 and things like that, when she was really meta. Solid wave clear here for Tempest. You can see how quickly they can clear these camps with the blow-up explosion damage they have that's AoE.
Also, before 7, Falstad will take a long time to actually clear the wave. Just coming out from the back. Spear does miss, so I don't think they can actually get enough damage to control this.
Rich, very
Falstad
low.
Coming down from side, loading on the Lockdown, but Lockdown is surviving for such a long time.
Oh, they can't get the pick on the Sake, can they? Greymane goes down. They do finally get this. It's Hyde who actually gets it, but at a high cost, and already this is starting to be a disaster.
A very high cost, but they did push the wall. If they lose Hyde, they'll survive again. Lots of kills, lots of EXP going to Black, even they lost the wall. I think that's pretty much worth it.
So since Jaina was reworked, in Korea we have only seen the Q build. It doesn't make as much sense when you're looking for burst damage, so she went into Lingering Chill at 1, then went into Arcane Intellect to have more mana. So that's going to help her with wave clear on this map, obviously, in terms of that versus getting solo picks with her Q build. So just wanted to point that out. It's a little bit weird, and I would not recommend this build in solo queue necessarily, unless you're playing a more conservative style and you're with a coordinated team. Maybe Team League, you want to play this type of build. But we'll see what she builds for the rest of the game. It's pretty unique. Remember, Jaina will, of course, work towards her improved Ice Block. That's her baseline quest. Tist has actually gotten found and caught here. So nice pick for Tempest, but once Ice Block becomes a thing, she's going to have Divine Shield to protect herself and the Ice Block. Oh man, they lose this invade too.
Even Genji just...
Sloppy play here.
Even more, the body blocked out, Rich. This have to sustain, but that's 2 kills.
Had he been stuck in that blizzard, he would have died for sure. Going to force him to back. This is a fantastic position for Tempest. Meanwhile, Sake is split pushing, but look at the gem control. 47 to 33 at the moment. In just a second, they're going to have enough for that first turn in. And look at how much damage Jaina does, even to structures with this push here. Rich needs to be careful. Sonya gets slowed by that chill, and it's extended. With the level 1 talent that Jaina took, they extended slow on the Sonya, on the Genji. These are going to stack up. This is going to allow that bigger burst damage. There's even a chance we see Divine Storm instead of Shield here.
I thought I was going to see Strangling Vines at 4 for Furion, which got lots of... it's going to provide less healing when Luther burst healing comes in. 30% less healing. I thought that was a good one, but in terms of map, because he wants to have the maximum amount of AoE root here. I think he went for... Which one was... I think a deep root instead. And he also has an AoE cleanse onto his teammates when they're getting healed. Those are the new ones for the Malfurion.
Yeah, it's the reworked Malfurion.
It's a lot harder, but still, if you practice, Malfurion is so much fun to play right now.
Malfurion actually, he got a lot more depth to his play, and we'll watch the evolution of how he's played in HGC Korea over some time. Obviously, very briefly in 2017, he was the top picked support. Not the case right now so much. Jaina, not really needing to get range for Q, just sticking with this talent that allows her cooldown reduction now on it instead at 7. That's the only part of the build she went for. KSV Black going to commit to this fight. They don't have level 10 yet, but feel pretty confident they're going to dive onto lockdown here. He does not have improved ice block just yet. Looking for cooldown reduction on his Q every time he hits it, man. And this is not looking good for Tist. Blown up again. Reset. Locked out here. Already used his dash. Does have another one. Okay. Used it earlier, but barely got it off cooldown there. Meanwhile, you could see that we're seeing some heavy pushing here from Ragnaros in the bot lane. Lil Ragnaros, in fact, as good. Pushes this down. So Tempest is just trying to snowball this game again from picks, from burst. With this objective, they're going to get level 10 first. It's actually going to be Water Elemental, interestingly enough, for Jaina here. Very helpful against Sonya, very helpful against
I think
Genji.
they want to win as soon as possible. Smash onto Ridge.
He survived, though. Didn't have to follow up.
Oh, okay, heals come in from Malfurion, but that's the problem right now for Black. There's no burst heal, burst armor for anyone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Malfurion's the worst against this type of burst, unfortunately.
That's exactly
it's not
why
very
they
helpful.
Picked Jaina and Ragnaros into.
So both times, Tempest basically abuses the fact that in game number 2, there was no cleanse, and in game number 3, there's no burst healing with burst damage in both ways. Game number 2 with burst after CC, in game number 3 with burst after CC, but mostly just the damage itself more than extended chain CCs. The slow from the Water Elemental is going to be very helpful at protecting Jaina against dives coming through from Genji, against dives coming through from Arthas, as well as the Sonya. Gives her those extra slows to keep that chill active on those heroes that are chasing her. Now we're looking at nearly a double turn in here. As soon as they clear this, they will have it, I believe. And Black doesn't have 10. They're so close, but they cannot allow this double turn in. I don't think they can stop it. It's exactly 55.
Tempest is going towards their 13 talent here. How did this even happen? With few kills and just too much EXP, just they were losing there, but trying to focus on the kills. Black is in a rush, but they don't have the burst healing for themselves.
They couldn't get the deny on the turn either. They have 10 now, but down 2 levels.
It is Twilight Dream.
Okay, we're going to see a commitment here to hide, but he can heal himself up. Self-Divine Shields. Sonya's dead already. It's a disaster. We do see the silence coming down with the Twilight Dream, but it's not enough to get the kill onto Good here. So far, a winning trade for Tempest, 2-1. Reset's got to get out of there. Stun's coming through. Tist trying to get the pick on the Dami, but he's 1v3, I should say. He's going to go down. That's going to be 13 for Tempest. And all this time while they're chasing, the push is on. And Jaina is doing a ton of damage to structures. Gets the cooldown reset from Q. There's the kill. Sake's going to get caught here. I don't know if he has flight. Here comes Rich. This might have been an overextension.
Oh, and the side goes into perfect spot. Lots of TC, of course. Sake does survive at the end, but this team fight, it looks coordinated, but basically even before their CC, what they were trying to do was way too late.
I mean, Jaina does so much damage to structures too that like they can further snowball this. And when you have this build from Jaina, you can do a lot of cool things, like when you're 1v1, you could slow when you have the Water Elemental. You can repeatedly Q them as long as you can hit those. Went into Icy Veins as well at 13. This is a strong build for Jaina. This is not the meta build for Jaina, at least not in Korea. We almost never see this. Only see the Q build. Only got cooldown reduction at 7.
Insta boss right after.
They're just trying to snowball this game, run it home. Now, if they boss here, Black has tools to deny that. They have the Gust, for example, but it's tough to use in these close quarters. I think Black might have actually been better off trying to turn in during this time. But they're going to go straight into a fight, and they don't want to be going head first with one of their squishiest members. Reset! Gets the cleanse, dodges the stun. That was a close call.
Oh, that smash will be an instant kill onto Reset's face. They were also missing Rich.
They were at least able to prevent the boss. That was what you could say was successful. They also wasted that Sulfurous Smash cooldown.
I don't think necessarily they were trying to go for the boss. I think they were just trying to bait them out.
They wanted to deny it, yeah.
Let's see, 2 levels away still. Tempest. Black has some room. They have the perfect. They did get the turn in. So they can actually push the waves a little bit and try to do some damage to the fort. Try to get their own EXP now.
KSV BLACK is tugging of warring their way back into this game. They're not down and out because they haven't lost a keep yet. They prevented the triple turn in. They prevented the boss. And you might even really say they're not holding on by a thread. They're now holding on by, you know, very tight wires, almost like what would lift an elevator, man. Very sturdy comeback potential for Black because they got this turn, and now they're going to catch up in experience. They haven't gotten a single fort yet. That's bonus experience they're going to get. And the later this game goes, the longer they're going to be able to sustain, the tougher it's going to be to get those burst kills that Tempest has been trying to snowball into a victory. So, this is a huge win for KSV Black, and even though Tempest has looked fantastic, 8 kills to 4 so far, that reign is over, and now they're going to have to look for burst, and it's going to be a lot harder.
Yep, could also use his Molten Core to do some delay, try to do some damage from the side, but that's going to be a 4th down. But still, Tempest is leading very far, entire level up there.
Yeah, in terms of experience, yes, but they need to, what they wanted was to just snowball the game just like on Sky Temple. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not impossible for them to get the picks that they were looking for before with, you know, the burst damage they have. But it's tougher now. KSV Black has better tools. They have silence, ice blocks up from Malfurion, for example. These things are going to make it a lot harder. Gust, disengage tool they didn't have from the beginning, now available. And Tempest would have another turn-in now had they gotten that team wipe, had they had the boss, but because they lost that turn-in, they lost a lot of gems. Now they're no longer able to snowball this, and this gives KSV, especially because they have Falstad for split pushing, for example, a huge opportunity to get to that late game they were looking for. Tist is going to be the target this time.
There's the Water Elemental for the slow, have to use it from the beginning.
And this time it doesn't work. This time they don't get the kill.
But still, Ragnaros went out safely after that, so that's, I think that's a good trade. With Arthas, also have to pop that with the sustain on the other side. Let's see how Sai wants to approach this. You can put an angle. Also Genji turning in.
Looks like the target here might have been Rich. Hyde using Radiance to get that extra damage on the Tist. Little bit facetious, I think, to think that that was going to lead to anything. But 16's up. Alpha Killer and Benediction for double stun.
Molten Core should be back for Good, and Good has been actually trying to use Smite on the Genji all the time. Maybe he should be switching his target, because Genji, of course, I think is the hardest target to actually land that on.
Yeah.
Maybe Malfurion or even Sonya.
Yeah, it's tough to land on Malfurion, but if you can bait out the ice block first, then he's a free kill, pretty much. Easier said than done.
Or maybe when Falstad comes in, just right on that spot.
Okay, they get the Web Weaver's spot. Can they retreat from this? Can they turn this into a positive fight? Tist is the target, but he survives most of it. Good Divine Shield here. Sake Gus. Will it be enough, though? I don't think so.
Way too late on this team fight. It was initiated by Tempest, so Sake, it took so much time to come up.
This might be a wipe. They got Malfurion, but will Sake get out? Lockdown's got those Q cooldown reductions. He's got his E upgrade now. Northern Exposure, and he has his Ice Bug. He's had it for a while. This may be Tempest taking the 3-0 start to HGC Korea against KSV Black. Creative drafts, burst damage, the focus here. Once you have 16, that extra burst coming through from Jaina is insane as well. Tist often caught here. Can we blame him, though? Not used to practicing against this kind of style. I think no one should point fingers at KSV Black tonight, but should rather be pointing thumbs up at Tempest.
That's exactly right. They were, from the draft and until in the game, it was practice. They have the Molten Core, they're just running down the core 20%. It's going to be game no matter what. Tempest takes the series 3-0 against KSV Black.
A result no one could have predicted tonight. Crowd goes wild here. I can hear them all the way from our back casting room right now. And, you know, this is not a result you expect for KSV. KSV's got their, not only their coach, Noble S here, but also their staff.
Smiling. He never smiles.
Yeah. They've got their staff here, the KSV members that, of course, purchased this team from MVP Black. And I think there was a lot of added pressure tonight. But if you look at who prepared for the meta, it was KSV Black. If you look at who prepared for the team they were playing against, and prepared surprise strategies, that was Tempest. The win on game 1, I think, is what wins them this series. This may have never worked a third time. Had they not been able to win that late game team fight with Lockdown on Cursed Hollow, might have been a totally different series. That was the spark that lit the fire that led them to go for those bonus kills, or sorry, those burst kills on maps 2 and 3 to close out the series. A frustrating night to be sure for KSV Black, but definitely going to be some replay review, going to be some VOD review and scrims to figure out how the weaknesses were shown, how they were exposed by Tempest. And both games, game number 2, abusing the lack of cleanse on Lucio. Game number 3, abusing the lack of shielding or burst support. No shields, no heals that could prevent those kills onto even the tanks. And Tempest with 2 very intelligent drafts to stop those.
This was a perfect timing. The opening day, when they're underprepared, Tempest, you bring out your everything. Black was just not prepared what Tempest had. The first opening day, they're going to be underprepared. We don't really have the stable meta right now. Of course, it comes in later on. If this match was in next week or next weekend or like later into the season, I don't think it could have worked.
Yeah.
They brought everything at the right timing. They knew this was the timing to bring out their everything. Now
and G-Clef, they're a whole round robin. They're done with KSV BLACK, not until next round robin. Beat the toughest opponent in the league on day 1 with strategies they prepared for weeks in advance. Very well played.
Good, man, for Tempest.
Yeah.
And
it feels like everything is even going to get easier for them now in terms of the caliber of opponent.
That too.
Now, they'll have to tighten up certain aspects of their play. Game number 1 was the most worrisome, right, where they had struggles in the early to mid-game, some incorrect plays by Lockdown on the Falstad. There were some weak points shown there. But when they went with what they prepared, the punish play of the supports they expected KSV to draft, that's when they succeeded. Now, on the other side of the coin is future opponents for Tempest will be able to study this burst style. It won't really work anymore, won't be effective. So they're going to have to tighten up other aspects of their play.
No one, I don't think anyone in this room, in this entire floor, expected this tonight, except for Tempest. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe Tempest. I'm not even sure if they could have expected it. They certainly did not after halfway through game number 1. It's just really good finesse out of this team. I'm very impressed.
I'm very impressed how their roster worked out today, especially Good and also Dami. Their way of flexing in, they really flexed into the team. Good, really not showing too much of a promising play with Sonya, but after game 2, even Ragnaros really not dying at all in Spiders, and Ragnaros oftentimes dies a couple of times in the beginning or in the later phase, but I don't think he died even once, maybe once.
Give me one soul laner that can like actually set up combos like this. The only one is Ragnaros, right? I guess maybe you could argue a non-meta soul laner like Zagara could set up this sort of combo with the Maw, but like, I mean, that's just too facetious. That's when you're going Ring of Frost, you're going to something a little bit crazy, right? This is a safe, strong soul laner, one of the best soul laners on Tomb of the Spider Queen. We saw him on this map specifically from SEA and from Korea at BlizzCon even, with Lava Wave, which was not what this is for in this case.
But weird.
Very meta hero for his ability to delay spider pushes and things like that. And he's a strong soul laner, but he works perfectly with this burst comp. So a really cool pick. You know,
impressed? It all works out. They need a mage. Lockdown can always be the mage. He can also play Vala, Li Ming, Gul'dan, Kel'Thas. I mean, I think they have a solid roster thinking of that. After watching this match, I am solidly sold and impressed.
Let's watch some of these. Okay, this is Lockdown's finest moment. This moment actually won them the game. Had this not happened exactly this way, with the Cocoon as well, of course, this fight, they would have lost the game. Boss on Core and the Curse. They went down to 51%. They were able to win every other team fight thanks to Dami's Dragon Blades and the Cocoons you mentioned. Look at Sake. Lockdown comes in. There's Dami on top of him. Boom. Sake is dead. Fight's over. Cleanse onto Lockdown at the last moment. Rich isolated here. That's a kill, or sorry, that's a win for Tempest. Wins them game number 1. Here we go. Game number 2. Abuse of no cleanse. Target was Kyocha most times.
Well, Lucio's just low HP. If you have the damage, the Mosh Pit does not do a single thing there as Genji's just trapped from the other side.
Dami uses his boomerang to get the kill there. Lockdown not even under threat, under duress. There's the burst healing coming through. And this is going to be the beginning of the end here. Look at the minimap as well. You can see the pushes have already gone. This game was long away from KSV BLACK.
Damage, so Soundbarrier way too late. The damage potential was incredible coming out from Tempest.
Had the barrier been a second before, it might have been a different result, but you know, we can never say if.
Yeah, 3 levels down, and they got the talents up there, and they had so much more damage.
The Divine Shield is really cool in this case because it pushes the limits of what the heroes can do at the end of the fight. You get a pick, someone just kind of overextends. Look at this again. At this time it was self-cast, but when you have these Divine Shields, the members get low because the other team has sustained damage, but they don't have the burst. Then the Divine Shield's just like, yeah, well, you can never kill me, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, this is the power of burst. They had their theme, Sake coming in with the Twilight, connecting the Gust with the Twilight, but it takes time for the Flight to come in and also the Twilight. But within that time, Jaina can use all the skill shots, and Ragnaros with all the skill shot damage. Basically, one of their heroes was at least, if not blown, it was at least broken by that time already.
Well, it's time to hear from our MVP from the second series. This is going to be Sign, and G-Club is going to translate that for you guys, so check it out.
As everyone's excited, let's get to meet the hero of tonight, Sign from Tempest.
So many fans cheering for him here in the studio.
Sign also got married late last year. I'm out of my throat. My voice is actually gone right now. We scripted so hard. We practiced a lot for today. And I think from our teammates just working with me all the time, I think that's exactly why we were able to win tonight. You want to say anything to the crowd tonight? There are lots of crowd. They were actually holding our Tempest logo. I think the energy really kicked in for us. Helped us a lot, and we'll pay that all back with the later matches coming up in HGC. Of course, KSV BLACK is still a very strong team. Were you not at all surprised? Well, actually, that wasn't the question. Also, this matchup was insane. Well, did you guys actually expect to beat them tonight? Our shape, we actually, in our scrims, we barely ever lost, and also this was the opening match. And because we were winning everything in scrims, I thought we had that idea, but still they were a very strong team. But so we were kind of nervous going on stage tonight. But I think we literally did what we practiced. It came on stage.
세상에 그 누구도 믿지 못하는 그런 결과를 만들어내면서 1경기 대역전 드라마까지 만들었고요.
You beat the best team in the world with 3-0. How did you practice? What did you guys do? First of all, we had our teamwork today in game number 1. We were just trying to work it together. Let's just do what we practiced. Let's do it well. And then because last year we lacked, we were always third place, fourth place. We didn't really place into a big one. So I think the energy, that willing, the passion really worked out great for us to work together all the way here. Hongkono, of course. Your previous teammates did it without you. How do you feel?
이거 진짜 많은 분들이 궁금해하고 있어요.
Was I the reason that we lost so much last year? Well, not that Hongkono. I think it was lots of luck potential was not in our favor, in a way. Sign just trying to avoid the answer.
그리고 한 가지 더 물어보고 싶은 게 있는데 사실 이전 경기에서 밀키웨이 선수가 인터뷰를 하고 갔잖아요. 보셨나요?
Did you watch Milky Way having the interview? Oh, I watched the match, not the interview.
TD의 원탑이 되겠다.
He said he wants to be the best Tyrael in the world.
국대급 TD를 가겠다. 국대 넘버원이 되겠다. 지금 국대는
But still, you're the number one. Yeah, I think I'm still the number one. In Korea at least. But I saw his match, but he was really good. You're good, so if you climb up a little bit, but still, I think he still has a long way to go. I think. Of course, you're a married man now. You reveal that to the community. Does it feel different going into all the cast? Going into all the games. Was there anything different today? Well, not just the passion. I think my mindset really changed. It's a lot more stable, comfortable. And then I think it's also the help from my wife after getting married. It feels like I can't lose anymore. I think that really helped me to go in and win today. Of course, do you want to say your last words to all the fans, not just here, watching online? There are so many. There are thousands. There are millions of fans watching you right now. First of all, we had a mindset of this is going to be the final match, the finals of HGC. We had that mindset and then we won, so really happy. We had some dark moments last year. We went through all that together, but now we're doing a lot better. So please root for us all the way to HGC seasons.
네, 정말 온라인에서도 많은 팬분들이 집에서 아마 박수를 쳐줄 거라는 생각이 듭니다.
Of course, a lot of will be chanting, rooting for you. That's the interview with Sign from Tempest.
Really kind of humble, but interesting to hear that his marriage really helped him, and he's really happy with his current roster, how much they scrimmed, and how they basically said this was the finals to them. These are tomorrow's matches for HGC Korea. We will have Ballistics against Ace. We will have Miracle against Blossom. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to our first night of HGC Korea. In a few hours' time, we'll of course have Europe, and then later on North America. It'll be J-House casting debut, so excited to hear him myself. But that's going to do it for myself and G-Clef. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you tomorrow at 6 p.m. KST. Oh, actually, no, we're not closing yet.
Never mind. It's a tradition here.
My bad.
We can't close
that's
too
right.
early.
That's how it is. So, all right. Well, here are the Korean credits.
That
It's
was
going
the
to be the
best
Korean
closing
closing.
ever, and then we have to do it again.
All right. Well, here are our credits, guys. Thank you so much, BSL, who brought us the first day of HGC Korea. It was a great experience, and I'm sure we'll have many more to come. No awkward camera stare except for Hong Kono, guys. Zoom in on his face and enjoy. We'll see you guys tomorrow.